All right, guys, how's it going? So I saw yesterday, I think it was, that Liverpool were linked with Pedro Neto. Pedro Neto is a player that Jurgen Klopp really likes. He's a player that we've mentioned many times on here. He's a player that once, I don't know if you know how long you've followed my content, but if you were to go on the members website and search Pedro Neto, you would know that there was information supplied some time ago. Now, I can't remember, it must be a couple of years ago. It was, I'm sure, around the pandemic as well. I don't even know when that was, to be honest with you. But Pedro Neto allegedly underwent a medical on behalf of Liverpool Football Club with consent of his club because Liverpool were interested in signing him, but it wasn't a medical like a pre-transfer, like a medical as part of a transfer. Liverpool wanted him looked at, so which is a really strange thing. I've only ever read it once in all the time that I've done Cop Talk. You would assume, that his club must have been willing to sell him, but he'd had injury problems and all that. Now, if you remember rightly, we did a video on here recently about Pedro Neto because his agent had made comments about a mystery club once that he had a chance to go to, if my memory serves me right. And I was like, was it us? Do you remember? And I made reference to that period. But do you reckon it was us? Do you reckon that was it? Because at the time, all this stuff happened. You sometimes, we'll say on here, don't understand, guys, don't know what it is. Maybe we'll find out down the line. It was one of those where I was like, his agent gave an exclusive interview. I don't know if it was in Portugal or Spain, probably Portugal. And reference this mystery club, this big deal that just didn't happen. And I thought maybe that was what we were talking about years ago. It's the same last year on here. Some of you guys pointed out to me last year, Dunk, you were in every video, not every video, but so many videos, you were going, so much not right at Liverpool, so much change, it don't make sense, this don't make sense, that don't make sense. And I was like, well, I'm sure we'll find out down the line. And then a few months later or 6 months later, Jurgen Klopp's decided he don't want to be manager of Liverpool. Was it that? Was that why all these things didn't make sense? Now, Pedro Neto, Jurgen Klopp is a big fan of his, but he has these injury problems and all that, right? And I have always advised you to continue to monitor Pedro Neto because of the obvious claims regarding this medical that he apparently underwent some kind of, not an inspection, but a check, right? Liverpool must have been like, well, they were coming, and his club were up for it. So I don't know really what was going on or whatever. All I can say is that the source of that information at the time that was posted on the members' website was extremely close to that situation and the health and well-being of Liverpool players. I can't say any more than that, right? But if you're on the members' website, maybe you'll know a little bit more about that. I don't think you'd know exactly who it was. Well, one of the members will because he's mates with that person. But it's irrelevant. You don't need to know all that. It's just whether you... I like to explain sometimes where some of the stuff comes from, do you know what I mean? And the members will verify it because it was on there a long time ago. So Pedro Neto's mentioned with us again. So when I saw the link, I was like, this fucking won't go away, this one, will it? Do you know what I mean? It won't go away. But Jurgen Klopp's going away. So why on earth would Liverpool trying to be doing something for Pedro Neto now, a player that Jurgen Klopp wanted, when Jurgen Klopp's going? Now, some people say, oh, maybe it was Pep Lijnders that wanted him, Well, he's fucking going too. So it doesn't make sense. So I think that we are seeing, like some of these reports in the media, we're seeing the most stupidest claims ever, aren't we, really? Like, we've got a new manager coming, he'll pick his own fucking people. And you can't even say, well, there's a sporting director that's trying to sign players with a view to delivering them to a manager and saying, can you work with that? We've got neither of these people in place yet. But I don't think it'll be long before we hear something about the sporting director thing. So Pedro Neto, we've spoken about it many times before. If you haven't followed the channel for long, or you're not on the members website or whatever, or you've just not been around these parts very long, I've tried to explain to you why Pedro Neto is always interesting when he's linked with Liverpool, because one, we know Klopp like him, and two, because of that this medical thing that he went under. I could find it on the website and go through it with you, but I don't think it's necessary. You just have to take my word for it. But it was a while ago, long time ago. So that's it. That's Pedro Neto. If you appreciate the video, please give me a thumbs up and please leave me a comment if you've got any thoughts on it. Surely you agree with me. Like, what the fuck would we be interested in buying this player for when, it just doesn't make sense.